Okay. Talking about Smite content and Smite content creators and like the flaws in the community that I see. Not the community, but like just just Smite content in general. And let's just jump into it. Like the biggest first reason is gameplay is 95% of what Smite content is. And you might be sitting there and like, well, duh, what else is gonna be? You're playing a game, so you're gonna have to talk. You're playing the game, so you have to make content about the game. But if you look at like other communities, like let's take Dead by Daylight for example, is a horror asymmetrical game, 1v4. A lot of content creators make videos about just discussing problems that they see in the game, like a DC penalty. What what options are strong right now, and maybe why nerf them, why not nerf them, and just having discussions and creating a community response around what they're saying, and actually getting the community engaged in what they're saying, and not just, oh, that's a good YouTube video, man. You went 25 and L, nice. Like we get it. You're a pro player, right? We're like I understand. Like as a pro player, you're like, man, why are people watching me, right? For my gameplay because I'm good. But a lot more people will watch you if you have a good personality to boot with it, or something useful to add to a conversation, right? Like take Weekend for a big example. He has a personality and he plays the game at a very high level, like a grandmaster's pro player level, right? So that's why a lot of people are drawn towards his content, especially now more so than ever because he transformed what his content was from just high level gameplay to, you know what? Let's watch a Elo Hell match. A lot of y'all been saying y'all been in Elo Hell. Let's see if it's true. Let's see if it's true. Or, you know what? I want to learn from a rank one player, or I want my people to learn from a rank one player. Or, I'm gonna upload this coaching video, and we're gonna coach this Scylla player. Or this mid player. They've been saying they have been struggling, and I'm just watch their gameplay and give tips on what they could do better. Also, the guess my rank that he used to do, I don't know why he doesn't do that anymore. But just transformative content that isn't just the same gameplay. And like there's multiple examples of communities that have more than just gameplay. Like right, like major content droughts, content gaps that we have right now are the stat guy. Like who's our stat guy that we go to know every single stat about the game, that goes through every single stat that you could ever want, right? Like in Rainbow, there's a stat guy. It's Rogue 9. He's the guy. You want to know what a gun? You want to know the exact recoil pattern of a gun? Go to him. You want to know the exact amount of time to kill in the game? Go to him. And that's a problem that we have right now. We just have a drought of the stat guy. Like who like the closest person to the stat guy is Intersect. And even like his stats, they're not as statty as someone like Duke Sloth. Like Duke Sloth used to be the stat guy. Oh, you want to know numbers about the game? You would go to him. But now, since he left to go adventure to try to be a multi channel or multi game channel, or I guess mainly he's doing New World now, but you get the point. He branched away from Smite only content and really upload Smite. Maybe he might do it once in a blue moon every year, once a year. So now we don't have a stat guy. So that's a major drought. And Intersect is kind of bridging that gap on just unique gameplay mechanics. Like he just released Shields Are Broken, or like a Shields Are Broken video, which I think that's a very fun video to watch if you want to know the stats or the mechanics and building behind Smite. So that's one thing that we're missing. And we're missing like major discussion YouTuber. Like if I told you who are you gonna go to know all the latest drama in Smite, you might say Weekend, but he doesn't upload a video every single time of him specifically saying, "Oh, new Smite drama alert," where he actually talks about the Smite drama only, and that's the only video. not just in the back of his stream. Oh, I went 20-0 this game. Also, Smite drama. Like, I'm talking about like pure discussion YouTuber. And like the closest thing we have to that is like kind of Hazer, because he talks about pro league drama kind of and what's going on in the pro league. Like he discussed the awesome Jake situation with Oni Warriors, that's a crazy situation. Me personally, I can never go out like that. That whole house is getting it, you know. I'm feeding my brains out. I'm making sure I don't get off the roster, and we going from the top to the bottom real quick. But getting back on topic, right? There's no discussion YouTuber for the game like, oh, blah 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 is broken. How do you fix it? Or Smite has a big DCing problem, or just something like that that gets like discussion started in the community. There's no real person that you go to for that. And I think that's a big gap. Like take Dead by Daylight once again for example. There's multiple discussion YouTubers. Scott Junn, Odds makes a discussion video every now and then. True Talent makes a discussion video. And I understand like that's a easier game to have a discussion video with because a lot of topics are polarizing. But guess why? Because people share their opinions, and not just in stream where you have to get a clip if you were just a YouTube watcher and don't have time to sit in someone's stream 24/7, right? So I think that would boost the Smite community to a new level because now you have, oh man, junglers are OP right now, nerf them into the ground, or carries are OP. Like you just have, yeah, tanks are strong, tanks are pretty broken right now. But what if we had a discussion YouTuber that was like, you know what? Let's find out if tanks or carries are stronger right now. Like which one's better, damage dealers or tanks? And actually, like, guess what? Teamed up with the numbers guy, or kind of did like a numbers/discussion video that showed that carries are actually mad broken right now, and they kill tanks way faster than tanks kill them. And bam, we have a discussion where carry players are going back and forth with tank players, and now it creates discussion and energy in the Smite community instead of just tanks are broken, tank meta. So I think that's another black hole that we have right now in the Smite community. If I can think of another one that we have the meme guy. We have a lot of gameplay. We don't have a true guide YouTuber. And when I say true guide, I mean like the whole entire channel is dedicated for guide making, or like not even like the whole channel. There's like a lot of what the channel is about is made for guides. And you might say, well, Inbound for supports, yeah, well, yeah, he makes guide oriented videos, but he also makes gameplay videos, which I'm not saying you can't be a guide and gameplay video, because that's obviously what a lot of pros do. They make quote unquote guides, which is just them showing off gameplay, being like, oh yeah, Bellona has a pretty good lane. You kind of bludgeon the wave. Make sure to hit the enemy too. Actually, no. Sometimes they don't even say that, like on how to group up the wave. Like for the longest time, I didn't know that you were supposed to like group up the wave by hitting the dude and drawing aggro from minions. Like you had to learn that by yourself, and I just never learned that or you have to learn that from watching solo videos, which that I wouldn't say that's the best way of making a guide is, oh, just watch the video. Just watch a video of someone playing solo. No, sometimes you want to watch a actual full-on guide on how to play the game. Like if I was to search up Smite 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 guide to solo lane, and there's not a something posted within the last month when solo lane has got a buff because tank meta, quote unquote, right? When everyone was like, oh, big tank meta. So I'm gonna type in solo lane guide or Smite solo lane guide to make sure it's Smite, obviously. And when was the last video made? 5 months ago by Intersect. The no BS guide to Conquest solo lane in year 10. Well, you might be saying, well, he made it at the season, so like it's not like solo changed that much. But the problem is meta changes. So now I don't know who to play, and now I got to look for a whole nother video. But if you update it every month or every patch, it's like, oh yeah, I know who to play. oh yeah, I know the build. Like obviously you know the build tanky, but do I build one damage item? Because you used to do that on soul laners. You used to build like a damage item like Heartseeker, Brawler's Beat Stick. You really need anti-heal, but Heartseeker used to be a very popular item on soul laners for that extra damage because you used to basically be just another assassin in the back line that was slightly tankier. But now a lot of tanks build full defense, like because it's more valuable now. Like Weekend has a general on how to build guide for Smite within the last month or within a month or so, and that's good. But he's the only one. Like I'm scrolling, and these are the top videos for soloing guides, and that's not even a soloing guide. That's just a general guide in general. He has his top 5 solos, which is basically just a tier list, right? So I think that's also a problem. Just the fact that there's no like dedicated guide for each role, or not even each role, just for Smite in general. Like there needs to be a person that is just dedicated to being the guide guy. Like, oh yeah, I go to that dude for guides. Like you have that for every single game, not every single game, but big games like Smite. Smite's a relative. It's a decent sized game. It's a decent sized game. Like take Brawlhalla for example, or like especially take any kind of fighting game. You're gonna have an in-depth character guide for every single character combo, every single character's move, every single character's frame. And I understand fighting like Smite isn't as complex as a fighting game, but if you really think about it, a fighting game is just memorizing combos and how to punish people, and you also need to know your matchups. But guess what? Smite has 100 characters that you need to learn the matchups of. Like, if you're a solo lane player and you play nothing but Kukulkan, you need to know your matchup into Bologna. Do you win that matchup or do you lose that matchup? And I guarantee you, most people don't know. Most people will say, well, Bologna's a pretty good pressure god. She basically wins the lane, but Kukulkan's also a really good pressure god whenever he gets his transformation. So, do you only fight her during your transformation? I don't know. Is there a guide on that? No. There's no Kukulkan guide for noobs, right? Like, let's type that in. Smite Kukulkan solo. And guess when the last Kukulkan solo video was played by most recently? 1 month ago by Haddix. And if you want someone that's a non-pro, 2 weeks ago. Which, if you're a pro player, you should be covering this so easily. You have as a soul, I think there's like 20-ish soul laners in the game. You can go one day and just play a different soul laner and make a guide on them. And let's say you have a busy schedule because you're a pro player, right? You do, dude, you literally stream for at least 3 hours a day. Make one video on a guide. That's all you gotta do. like, it's and it's not a hard thing because you know how to play that guide because you play it at a high level and you play it in pro league. So you should know how to play. That's no ifs, ands, or buts. So once again, that was a long rant on the fact that we have no guide, the guide. Um, Now I don't think there's another thing that we don't really have. I can't think of one right now. More podcasts, that'll be nice. But that's also kind of a discussion. Like, yeah, obviously the ones I discussed already. Um, the prediction podcast with Agro and Barracuda, backliners. Like that's the actual name of it, but it's on the prediction channel for some reason. I guess they just got a deal from them or something like that. Um, Roars and PBM's podcast, Travelers Proc. I think the devs have a podcast now, so obviously podcasts are way more common now than it used to be for Smite. Which it's fine. Like Smite isn't that big of a game where it needs a podcast for like every single content creator. But just nice to have more talk about Smite. Now, you know, that's mainly what I had to say about Smite. Um, it would be nice to have like an analysis YouTuber too besides Hazer, because while he does do really good analysis and I do like his content, um, it's not like he's analyzing like every single game. Analyzing? Is that a word? Analyzing? Analyzing. I'm pretty sure that's how you would say it. Analyzing every single game. So that'll also be a good add too. So that's just main takeaways. I think the biggest one is discussion YouTubers. We need way more discussion in Smite. And it's not hard to think of. You just share your opinions on just topics in the game for a video. Especially if you have a big following already. You can, like, I don't know. It's real easy. Like probably the only like big discussion I can really think of in Smite was really like the Encon versus Weekend thing, kind of, where Encon made a video crying about getting kicked off the team and getting done dirty. Yeah, no, my boy got done dirty. Yeah. Hold on. Did Jay get done dirty or did Encon? I think the fact that like your team screwed up the trade deadline, he kind of got done dirtier, but it was like Encon's team that he got kicked off of, so that's also got done dirty. And he thought he was gonna be able to kick someone else off instead of him getting kicked off. Cause yeah, nah, they both got done dirty. I'm not gonna lie. So it is what it is. Um, not even trying to go so deep on that. I don't know why. Just thought about it when it came to discussions. That's the only big discussion I really can think of though. Um, can I think of another discussion? No, can't really think of another big discussion. The Jake situation kind of right now, a decent sized discussion. I've heard we can talk about it. Heard obviously Jake and Solo talk about it. Heard Hazer talk about it. So heard I think Intersect talked about it, something like that. Probably. So yeah. Um After that it's guides. Guides are so important to like building a community that's actually good at the game, or like it would improve gameplay so much for a new player. Because as a new player, I knew nothing coming into the game. Because one, it's a MOBA, and if you don't know the build for your character, yeah, you can say, oh, just go look at that pro player's build. But you know how many people do giant like Weekend that hit? He is just clickbait. Hit like that is his brand. It's clickbaiting people. Oh, the new broken build. It does a thousand plus damage. Oh no, oh no. Like kind of title. So like, how are you really supposed to pick out like what is like a really good build versus is full power Arachne broken? Full pin Heartseeker Arachne broken? Ability based Arachne broken? Like when you do clickbait like that, it's like as a new player, okay, I guess maybe it is broken. Like you as a new player, you know nothing coming into this game, and then they be the same people like, why is Arachne building a Heartseeker in my dude? Because you literally told them to. Like what? Or not like specifically told them to, but you literally made a video clickbaiting them into thinking that it was good. And obviously they're a new player, not even a new player, just like someone that isn't as familiar with building mechanics and character interactions. Yeah, I'm not gonna know. Like at first set, like at first when set kind of released, I was like, yeah, he probably could be like an auto attack character. So I was like, let's see if anyone's building auto attack set. Okay, people building auto attack set, probably viable. Which was it viable? Probably. Was it like the best way to play him? Obviously not. It's the ability based way to play him. How you play now. Everyone plays him now. No one plays him auto attack based unless you're like doing a troll video, which some content creators, not naming names, would put set attack speed broken? Question mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Ah face, ooh face. But yeah, guide, make more guides. I don't know. I'm also long winded on that. Just make more guides that are actually in-depth guides on each character in the game, and just do your role. That's all I'm saying. Like Weekend, Phantom, people like that. Junglers do jungle, solos do solo. That's all I'm asking. Um, I said podcast. Podcast would be cool, but not Nothing too mandatory. It was one more big thing I just said. It was I I can't think of it. Yeah, nope, can't think of it. Oh well. No, it was discussion, guides. Oh, and just branching out your content more. Just make more interesting content, not just repetitive gameplay content. And I think Smite would have like a lot better content creators and content. Also, let your personality show. That's major. Um, and speaking of content, if you liked it, let me know. If you didn't like something about it, let me know that too, so I can improve it. Cause the only way we get better is through each other. Peace.